All right, welcome to the second video. And how does this diet work? Why does this protocol work where traditional diet doesn't seem to work for many people these days? Well, let me start off by saying this. Weight loss is all geared around the hypothalamus. It's a gland that's found in the middle of the brain, right here behind the ear, right toward the middle of the brain. The hypothalamus controls everything. It controls blood pressure, it controls blood sugars, it controls water levels, it controls sleep patterns, it controls fat storage, and that's where we're really going to be concentrating on, is the fat storage. Let me start off by saying this. Fat. You get fat by overeating. Now listen, if you eat more than your body can use, whether an ounce or a pound, it doesn't really matter. The body is not going to get rid of the food. It's very efficient in this manner. It will take that processed food and it will store it. There's only three places that the body can store this food, and that is in the fat stores of the body. The first store that we're going to speak on is the surface fat. It's located underneath the skin, all over the body. The surface fat is something you're born with. You're supposed to have it. It insulates the body. It creates protection for the body. It's also a quick energy source if you find yourself away from food for any length of time. The body can draw from this store to continue to operate. If that store is in good shape, then the body looks to structural fat. The structural fat's the fat that surrounds the vital organs. It keeps the organs from slopping around, keeps them from getting bruised, getting hurt. You find structural fat in your face. That's what gives you your features. If you took the structural fat out of your face, you'd look like skin hanging over a skeleton. You'll find the structural fat in the palms of your hand and the heels and the pads of your feet. That is something that you're born with as well. You're supposed to have those two stores. Now, if those two are full, then the body has no choice but to develop or make a temporary, what we call abnormal fat cell. Now, this cell is made, this excess food is put into this cell, and it's attached generally where you don't want it. You find abnormal fat in the abdomen, your neck, your lower arms, your thighs, your buttocks. It's those areas that we want to get rid of fat, but we have a real hard time getting rid of it. This fat is temporary to the extent that once the food is placed in this cell, this fat is made, a signal is sent from that cell to the brain. The hypothalamus interprets or reads that signal. It says, oh my goodness, we've got something that's not normal here. We want to get rid of it. So what the hypothalamus does, it turns down the hunger sensor. It speeds up the metabolism in the body, and then it directs all the energy needs to that temporary fat cell. Now, if everything is working properly and normally, all you have to do is cut back on your eating a little bit, and eventually all that abnormal fat goes away. Once that fat is gone, the cell is broken up, it's dissolved and reabsorbed into the system. Now, what we've found is, over time, a stressor takes place. A stressor meaning a birth of a child, a death in the family, a divorce, some emotional turmoil. Actually, just getting older sometimes creates a stress in the body, and what I term is a slipping of the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus, for some reason, stops seeing the signal that's being released from this abnormal fat. Without seeing that signal, this abnormal fat's invisible. The body doesn't know that it's there. The energy needs aren't being taken from that abnormal fat cell. In other words, what you have is a can of food without a can opener. You can diet in this condition. You can work out. You can starve yourself. You can kill yourself working out. You can lose weight in this condition. And normally what you look like when you lose this weight under these circumstances, your face looks haggard. Your skin hangs. Your arms sag. your body looks like, well, it looks like you've been deflated. However, the abnormal fat cells, those pockets are still visible, they're still there. In fact, you know, you've experienced it yourself, or you've got friends who've experienced it. They come up to you and say, wow, you've lost weight. Have you been sick? See, the point I'm trying to make here is this. If the hypothalamus is not engaged, if the hypothalamus is not releasing the energy from those abnormal fat stores, your body's going to take the fat from the surface fat or the structural fat that's there, supposed to be there, or it's going to start breaking down muscle tissue. Now, the problem there is this. Once you start eating normally or stop exercising to the extent that you were, your body starts to replace those fat stores. You're supposed to have the surface and structural fat. So if you've lost that fat store, the body replaces it. You lose that 20 pounds. 2.5 months later, you got 22 pounds added to you. That yo-yo effect, that's because you're losing the wrong fat. What we do with the HCG, theoretically, is it re-stimulates, it revitalizes, it brings the hypothalamus back online. Once that occurs, the signals being sent from the abnormal fat now is being read. The hypothalamus says, oh my soul, where did all this come from? Immediately, it turns down your hunger, it turns up your metabolism, it directs your energy needs to that store, that abnormal fat store. That's where we bring you into what's called the very low calorie diet. Once we bring you down to that 500 calories per day, your daily calorie need is here. Probably if you're average between 2,400 and 3,200 calories a day. Well, we bring it down to 500 calories. There's a huge gap. Your body's looking to replace that. With the hypothalamus now back in gear, your abnormal fat stores opened up and releasing their content, and the body using the energy that's in that store, your energy levels in your blood start to rise. As the fat releases, your energy levels come up. Once your energy levels are where they need to be on a daily basis, your brain says, I've got plenty of food. So you find yourself not getting hungry. Listen, 500 calories, that's starvation. Nobody's going to kid anybody here. And under normal circumstances, at 500 calories, you're not really going to lose the type of weight that you can with the HCG. Once the hypothalamus is stimulated, the abnormal fat cells are releasing their content. 500 calories is no big deal because you're getting the nourishment that you need from the abnormal fat cells, not the surface or the structural fat. We're not breaking down muscle tissue from the abnormal fat cells. So, if you take 500 calories from your daily need of 3,000, that means your body's looking to replace 2,500 calories. A pound of fat is equal or equivalent to 3,500 calories. So if you're burning 2,000 to 2,500 calories a day, you're burning more than a half a pound to a pound of fat per day, just using up your abnormal fat stores. So that's why the HCG protocol works. That's why we can drop you down to 500 calories without you dying of hunger. That's why you can't lose weight without getting the hypothalamus stimulated. Now, play back this video clip over and over until you get it in your mind, because once you understand how this thing works, you're not scared of the diet. Thank you.